This segment is sponsored by Endoscopic Wellness Center of America. Our nation is currently undergoing an obesity crisis. And for people who are at risk or having trouble losing weight, there are several options for bariatric weight loss that can bring results. Here to share more about them is Dr. Richard Allen Blosser, who is the Chief Medical Officer at Endoscopic Wellness Center of America. It's great to see you, Dr. Blosser.
Good to see you again, too. Thank you so much for having me.
Sure. Well, listen, people are traveling again. Things are getting back to normal. What about the health of the nation? Is that also getting back to normal?
No, just the opposite. On average, most patients gained 29 pounds during COVID. So a nation that was already obese is now heavier, now has more of the potential complications of the obesity, i.e. coronary artery disease, hypertension, renal failure, and malignancy. Obesity contributes to malignancy. And this is all not only preventable, but also reversible. And that's what our focus is.
And for a lot of those people, there's a lot of options on the market. But what makes the options that you provide great for them?
Well, I think the first and foremost one is safety. I think that what we do endoscopically, we do 25 million endoscopies in the United States every year without major complications. So the endoscopic approach is just a safer approach, and that whether it's with a balloon, whether it's with the endoscopic sleeve or the TOR procedures, which are the revision procedures, these are all much safer than the other options. One option being surgery. The surgical option carries significant risk with a mortality rate approaching 1% and a complication rate as high as 5 to 15%, depending on the type of surgery. And versus the newer medications, which are either injections or pills, do carry significant risk as well, whether it be renal failure, whether it be bone marrow suppression, whether it be hypoglycemia. And these are medications that you're going to be on for the rest of your life. So to have an intervention where you can start losing weight on day one and you have counseling for an entire year and you're not having to take a pill or a shot is a much better approach. And we have not only data, but national data from the Mayo Clinic to support that.
And as you said, it's effective, starting to lose weight from day one, but also safer. Are the procedures that EWLCA, are they for everyone?
Well, no, not for everyone. We kind of tailor them to the population. So the BMI is a measure of your obesity. So BMIs with less than 35 but greater than 30 or 28, yeah, you're considered overweight and early in obesity, and that's where the balloons tend to work really well. When you get above a BMI of 35, that's where the ESG for the naive patients who've not had previous surgery, become very effective because they tend to have a lot of comorbidities with hypertension and hyperglycemia and diabetes, etc. And then the patients who've already had an intervention, either a Roux-en-Y gastric bypass or a laparoscopic sleeve, the TOR procedure, and specifically a TOR-B, for which we have a patent pending on, is really the better approach because those patients carry a significant risk going back to the operating room. And we can do endoscopically just about what they do in the OR suite, but a considerable safety and with the same results, with significant weight loss with a simple 15 or 20-minute endoscopy.
So it sounds like they can come to you and find out which approach is better for them.
Correct, exactly correct. And when you talk about the patients who regained weight specifically after having a Roux-en-Y gastric bypass or a sleeve, they've already been through the process. They know what has happened, but there are mechanisms for understanding when to stop eating and what they're eating and why they're eating. That really has fallen by the wayside over the 5 or 10 years since their definitive intervention. And I don't think 20 years ago, when we were going through the process of Roux-en-Y and sleeves, that everybody knew that this was going to come along. Now we have an endoscopic approach, which is much safer and with equal, if not better, results than going back to the operating room.
Dr. Blosser, thank you so much. This is great information, and we appreciate you sharing it with us.
Thank you so much. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Visit EWLCA.com to request an appointment for a consultation with their team of experts. They will help you kickstart your weight loss journey.